afternoon, everyone. Good evening or good morning, depends on when you're watching. And welcome back to the second episode of Our Two Cents. I'm here with Galen Bargerstock, president of GCES. Galen, how are you?
Not bad, Clint. How are you today?
I'm doing really good. I know that today we're here to talk to everyone about ideas to think about before you're retiring. So today that's going to be our topic. And Galen, I know that over the years you've met with so many people. You've met with them before they retire, sometimes 10, 15 years before they retired.
Yeah.
You know, what are some ideas that you've seen that you think people should think about at home whenever they're starting to plan?
I think expenses. You have to decide, how much money do you need coming in monthly, and figure out what your expenses are. You have to know what you're spending to know if you can afford to retire, because you need to know that you're going to have enough to make it through.
So in your experience, what is the number one common thing that you see people actually spending too much money on?
Cable. No, I mean, it comes to, the necessities, car payments, house payments. Those are the two biggest things that any family household is going to have, or rent, and then it's just the other things like the heating, electric. You have your bare necessities, but anything outside of that, I would say, is going to be, a luxury. Even cable is a luxury, cell phones.
Okay, so to me, I feel like a lot of people underestimate how much they're spending on groceries.
Yes. Oh, groceries is huge as well. I mean, you can go to the grocery store and spend, $20 in a heartbeat now, when 10 years ago it would have stretched out a lot longer. Sometimes when people actually talk about a plan with me and I ask them, how much are you spending? And I include the food and groceries, and they tell me $100. And I'm like, $100? What are you buying, Triscuits? So it's really hard, because, I know how expensive food is, and you need to prepare, to eat. I mean, or you're not going to survive.
It's so food, you're saying, is not a luxury, it's a necessity.
Food is definitely a necessity. Yeah.
Now, I know a lot of people, even that I've talked to, a lot of them are worried about what's going on with the market. How should people be handling the ups and the downs in the market today?
Oh, it really depends on your age and how concerned you should be with the way the market is. I mean, the market is always going to go up and down. It's just the mutual connection that everybody has with the products that everybody's buying, So if you're 40, you definitely have the ability to be more aggressive. I don't want to say you don't want to care that the market is, going down, but it's not as important if you're 62. And you're about to retire, and you're playing the market like you were that 40-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about people planning their market whenever they're younger, how often do you think everyone should check in and re-look at how they have their assets lined up?
I would say 2 years. You can get away with 5 years if you're in your early 20s, early 30s, just starting a career. If you're playing the market aggressive, which most people that are younger should play the market aggressive, knowing that with the risk comes the reward, that you're going to make more in the future. But, if you're younger and you're putting money into that 401k, your employer's matching you money into that 401k, and the market's down, well, you're buying up, in stocks at a cheaper rate. So when the market does come back up, you're going to have a higher volume. Yeah. So, if you're younger, you definitely have the ability, take it to consideration that the market is going down, but just know that in the long term, you think of a 10-year average, when it comes to investing.
Nice. So really, have you seen people do the wrong thing when the market dips?
Definitely. I've seen tons of people do the wrong things, because it's human nature to panic and not want to lose any more money. So if the market is dipping down, people are going to go from investing in the market to more conservative cash options inside of their plans. And as soon as they do that, if they're not, watching the market, they're not going to be catching the market gains when it comes back up. So they're going to establish the loss.
So with all of the market ups and downs, if we're looking long term for people, is there a way for them to get away from that?
What do you mean by that?
Like to not be upset with income in retirement by the markets going up and down.
Well, I mean, if it comes to, you're talking about a retirement age, over
Yeah.
60, somebody retired? Oh, yeah. Well, there's lots of products available, inside of the insurance world, such as an annuity. If a person would want to go into a fixed indexed annuity, you could essentially not lose any money at all, period, and then play the index, and I say play because everything is a gamble. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you can take the index and you can take the positive gains, but not have any of the losses. So that's something that a fixed indexed annuity could do for you. But there's tons of products out there, that can guarantee other things as well.
Yeah. So tell me about more of those products.
So, some of the products would be, I would say, going into something like a fixed indexed annuity as well, but do it for an income stream. So say you need to make an extra $1,000 a month in retirement, you could chunk a portion of your 401k, put it into a fixed indexed IRA annuity vessel, and guarantee yourself an income stream. That way you don't have to worry if what the market's doing, whether it's going up or down, because you know that that insurance company is guaranteeing you every single month that check is going to be in the bank.
Yeah. So I know over this years we've talked about so many things. One thing that I know that people don't really take into consideration is their health.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different things that are going into that. What do you think, very quickly, the biggest thing about health is that you see that people need to look for in regards to their retirement?
Well, I mean, addressing the fact that as you age, the body's going to break down more and more. So you want to be in the appropriate health plan while you're working. And I've seen this thousands of times, over my career doing this, that people will flock towards the most expensive health plan and they think that that is the best coverage that they could possibly get, but they're not using it. They're not even seeing a physician but once a year checkup. So they're paying this big price tag instead of going into a cheaper plan alternative, which would free up a little bit of savings for them while they're working.
Excellent. So guys, we'll be back in just a few moments. We have some words from our sponsors. And after that, we're going to continue talking about things that you need to be thinking about before you plan your retirement. We just finished up with some different things about health, and we're going to be talking about some more things that you need to consider regarding your health before you go into retirement.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place and then help determine if you're well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision, so why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you're getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Preparing families for retirement, GCES.
All right, welcome back, guys. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm here with Galen, president of GCS, and we're talking today about things that you need to consider before you head to retirement. Ideas to consider before retirement. Galen, we just finished with the first one on health. Just for everyone at home, what was the first thing you should look at regarding health when it comes to retirement?
Well, it's not just retirement, it's preparing for the retirement aspect. Just address whether you're in the correct health plan while you're working. One of the things that I've found throughout, my career doing this is people are sometimes paying $200-300 more a month than they should be, in the health plan when they could be in a cheaper plan. And, theoretically, if you take that money that you're putting incorrectly into the health plan, and instead of paying the health insurance company the premiums, put it into your 401k and pay yourself.
Yeah.
And use that money that you're already spending and do it a little bit wiser.
Excellent. So that's a very good point. And I know there's other things to consider about health, considering even what kind of plan is going to cover you into retirement.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of changes. Like, we do a lot of business with the federal government and the federal pension. The federal government is changing their health plan regulations in 2025. So this is actually the perfect time for not just any specific age range. Every age range of a federal employee needs to address their health insurance this year because everything's about to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about those people at home that are already over 60 that haven't retired? What's specific for them regarding health? Do you think that they should be looking forward to?
Somebody that hasn't retired that's at home?
Yeah,
Or
over 60.
Yep.
And they are heading towards retirement. What should they plan on doing?
Well, I mean, set the plan in place and establish, what your investments are, what you want to do with your investments is probably an appropriate plan. You have the health insurance aspect. You want to make sure that you also have the investment income and you have that income coming in for your lifetime.
Excellent. What if they're close to 65 and Medicare age?
Well, then they're definitely going to have to consider how much money they're going to be paying for health insurance, because now you're going to have to pick up Medicare Part B, and you're going to have to go into a Medicare plan, or maybe your employer plan will give you, a supplemental plan inside of your employer plan. So you have to find what health plan matches the position that you work for, because some employers have Medicare built into their health plan, so you don't really have to worry about it. But then some of the plans on the outside world, you're going to have to consider what to do with your health insurance, in open market.
Yeah.
And what's the best design.
So ideas to think about retiring is our topic today.
Yeah.
And I know that we've already covered a ton of information. One thing I would say is that the market, there's the downsides in the market right now. The market has been very volatile.
Yeah.
What do you think people should be doing to plan when the market starts going back up?
Well, I mean, for the most part, the market is coming. It came back from the big losses that we had, a year and a half ago, and it is climbing. Is it still volatile? Yes. It's just takes, not bad information, but, anything negative will affect the stock market when it starts going around, and because people don't want to invest. They don't feel as confident in investing. And a lot of people are coming back into the market now because they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I know that this is an election year. How do you think that affects people's decision making? I know that it does.
It does. I mean, I try not to get too political with, everything when we talk, because you don't know, whether it's Republican or Democrat in the office. You keep it in the back of your mind, but it's the goods and services in America that are what drive the market.
So do you think people should base their retirement choices on the current president or the incoming president? Should they even take that into consideration?
No, I wouldn't take it into consideration.
And a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. I mean,
Yeah.
They sure do. I mean, because a lot of people want to see a Republican in the office or a Democrat in the office, and everybody has their opinions on whether the economy is better with or without. The big thing is to take into consideration for all of this is no matter what is going on, life is still happening all around you.
Yeah.
So you have to be prepared to just continue with your plan and not really give too much focus investment-wise on who's in the office, because America drives, and the choices that we make, whether we're investing or whether we're pulling back at times, we're the ones in control, not just a Republican or a Democrat.
Yeah. So, so far we've talked about many things when it comes to ideas to think about before retiring. Number one, we talked about expenses. Mm-hmm. We've talked about health insurance and making sure that you're in the correct health insurance. I want to talk more about lifestyle, because, it's not all about retiring, right? A lot of people are going to retire. They're going to get ready to go towards retirement, and they have no plan for what they're going to do in their time off.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has been working, and now you have all this free time. What are you going to do? So a lot of the times people are going to think about their retirement plan, and they're going to not consider, hey, I have all this free time. I'm going to probably need money in order to, go do all these things that I wanted to do my entire life.
Yeah.
So a big thing to consider is having a nice surplus of money just to do stuff that you never got a chance to do.
Excellent. So I'm also going to give you a very hard task right now.
Okay.
I want you to give me the top 3 things, number 1, that the people do when they retire.
Health insurance.
No, for fun.
For fun?
Yeah, top 3.
Top
Go.
3.
First.
Go on vacation.
Second.
Buy something that you don't need.
Third.
Give money to charity.
How many people do you think are giving money to charity?
Well, I don't know. You put me on the spot.
I know that a lot of people we've talked to, they plan on traveling after they retire. A lot of people also will take money and pay off a lot of their bills.
Yep. A lot of people want to pay off debt so they can get retired, but what that's going to do is you might pay off that mortgage, but you might spend all of that money that you have, and now you're not able to go do anything else, but your house is paid for. So you're going to have to pretty much just sit in your house and not do anything.
So when you sit down with people, will you help them plan that out?
I give everybody a very realistic opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm pretty blunt.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you if there's something that you need to look out for because you've never retired before.
Yeah.
And I talk to 15 to 20 people, new people every week about retirement. So I have a little bit better of a grasp on what could happen. Someday I'll be able to retire. But, as for now, it's just what everybody tells me, feedback to what to look out.
I think that a lot of times we've seen DIYers, is what I would call it, do-it-yourself retirement planning experts that, I personally, I am not an electrician. I am barely a I can't even, we don't really fix our own stuff at home. Like somebody else has to come in and fix like holes in our walls and, holes from nails, anything like that. I would never try to be an electrician.
No.
I would never try to be a plumber. And a lot of people will try to do those things at home, but I don't really think you want to DIY your retirement. You don't want to do it yourself. You can, a lot of people will start trading stocks and go down the wrong path when really they need to talk to a professional. And Galen, you've been helping people out with that for how many years now?
I have been licensed in insurance since 2007. But not actually sitting down with people until 2009.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So guys, we're going to be back in just a few moments after a word from our sponsors. We're going to be continuing to talk about the things to think about before you retire. These aren't after retire. These are things to think about before you retire.
Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Ben. Hey, birthday party for Carolyn 5. Happy birthday to you.
Good morning, Ben. Happy Monday.
Daryl's birthday, be there or be square. Happy birthday to you. As you can see from our quarterly report on slide number 62, we're trending in the right direction. All signs point to a very positive outlook for the next several years. If you peel back the onion...
Ben, do you have anything to add?
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Preparing families for retirement. GCES.
Everybody, welcome back. I'm Clinton Smith, CEO of GCES and the host of Our 2 Cents. I'm here with Galen Bargerstock, the president of GCES.
Hi, guys.
So Galen, I know that we've been talking about ideas to think about before you actually get to retirement.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to talk about is survivor benefits.
Yeah.
and using those benefits, and when should you and when shouldn't you use them? Let's start with when should you use survivor benefits?
You need to use survivor benefits if your spouse can't survive without you upon your passing. You just flat out need to take it. And that's the best way to know what to do, whether you should take it or not, or use life insurance instead of a survivor benefit. Because if your spouse cannot live without that income stream, if something happens to you, you need to do it because you didn't plan ahead where it would be affordable to do something else.
So let's break that situation down, because
Yeah.
that's a really hard thing probably for everyone at home to wrap their heads around.
Yeah.
If someone if someone is reliant on their partner's income in retirement, that partner should purchase survivor benefits or elect survivor benefits in their retirement.
Your verbiage is correct. I mean, purchase is the right word. You are buying something when you do a survivor benefit. So generally speaking, when you elect to do a survivor benefit where your spouse is, say, getting 50% or 25% of your pension upon your passing, you're buying that, and there's a fee associated with it. Say federal employees, it's pretty expensive, and your pension, if they need, say it's $2,000 a month.
Let's back it up. I want to talk to the type of person that paint me a picture in your head of who that person is at home that's watching, that is the person that should, and I know I'm confusing this somehow because I know that it has to do with age also usually, typically, right? The person that would be retiring would then be younger, typically, with an older spouse that doesn't have income on their own, that wouldn't be able to return to the workforce, or what is it?
No, not necessarily. So let me give you a number breakdown, okay? So let's say that you are, just for a number, 62 when you retire. And let's say that you're gonna spend $200 a month for survivor benefit from 62, just for a number, to 82. So 20-year time frame, you're doing a survivor benefit to give half of your pension to your spouse. Well, in that 20-year time frame, if you're doing a survivor benefit, that's spouse to spouse. It's not trickling down to the family. So let's just say, for instance, you're paying $200 a month. It doesn't matter how old your spouse is at this point. And 17 years down the road, your spouse passes away. There's nobody to leave that pension to that you've just spent $200 a month to provide them 50% of your pension, for instance.
So these would be people, okay, I got it. So someone is either going to not be able to work, or someone that is sick, or someone that has health issues. If your spouse has health issues, then I'm assuming then you would get it.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of thinking of it a completely different way than what I'm trying to think about it as, and that's the thing. It is such a hard thing to wrap your head around whether a survivor benefit should be done or whether you should use life insurance, because remember, you're buying something. So you either buy life insurance or you buy a survivor benefit. What I'm saying is, if you're betting and you're doing the survivor benefit, and 17 years down the road, your spouse passes away, you just lost all that money that you paid into for survivor benefit. When it comes to life insurance, say that same scenario, you're paying in for 17 years and your spouse passes away. Well, you can retitle the beneficiary of that life insurance policy to your child so that money stays in the household. So it's more about not only protecting your spouse, because you definitely don't want to leave them high and dry if you pass away, but it's also protecting the family. Keeping wealth within the household is what you're trying to establish, whether you choose survivor benefit or life insurance. So what I would say is, we're talking about this right now, and it's already confusing. I know it's confusing for people that are sitting down at home. So the best thing is just to give us a call. And if you give us a call, we're going to be able to decide, or not decide for you, we're going to help you decide, because we're going to give you both options of which one is going to be appropriate.
Yeah. And honestly, guys, I'm still wrapping my head around it myself. Galen and I have worked together since the very beginning. We started GCES together, and it's even still hard for me to wrap around it. I'm not just a pretty face, but things that you really have to think to consider whenever you're sitting down to plan your retirement.
Yeah.
And that's the reason we're here. That's why we do this, to help people. And it's worked for us so far because we're out there to actually help the people make better decisions about their retirement.
And when we're talking about this, like you and me, ideas to think about, it is not just one person that you're talking to when you're talking about retirement. You're talking about usually two people as a unit, you know, as a family retiring. So you have to analyze not one, but two people's pensions and incomes, because a lot of the times now, both people are working.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just one person working and somebody is, you know, taking care of the home. You know, now it's two people are working, two people are taking care of the home. You know, so things are different.
It's always good to take everything into consideration. I know that when Galen sits down with people, he's going to go over everything that both of you have because it's a household. Yeah. You know, and you want to treat it that way. Also, I know some things that people want to consider before retiring. I want to talk about a positive note. Let's talk about activity, hobbies.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What's, in your experience, what's one of the coolest things anyone's ever done after you retired them?
Oh, geez. I actually had one person that raised carrier pigeons. And he had, there were a ton of them. I would say 200-300 of them. And that was his retirement game, to continue more focused on, you know, the carrier pigeons and seeing how they worked. It was a very nice tour I had when I got to see them,
And one of the things I know that we've definitely talked about is coming up with activities.
Yeah.
You want to stay active in retirement and actually have a plan of what you're going to do. I mean, just imagine you're walking at the post office for, 40 hours a week as a letter carrier for 20 years and you retire. There's going to be a dip in that activity every day.
Yeah, I mean, you've never not worked before, so you really need to find or think about what interests you and what you're going to do for the rest of your life, because you don't have to, wake up to that alarm clock anymore. You have the ability to do whatever you want, so with a good plan set in place, go, you do you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So guys, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching our second episode of Our 2 Cents. It was great talking to you guys today. There are definitely things to consider before you retire. If you haven't gotten the chance, give us a call. It's 888-391-3465, and we will help you get all of these things planned out and help you get on the way towards retirement. Have a great day, guys.